Linux is better than Windows, hands down, objectively, and that's exactly what we're going to prove in today's video. And if I'm wrong, I'm willing to give you, while you're going to have to wait and see later on in the video what I'm prepared to offer if I'm wrong, but you have to prove it. Let's check it out. Hey name tags and welcome, this is Ash from My Tech, and if you want to unleash your true potential, start by subscribing, enable the bell notification icon so I can help you go from newbie to techie. This is going to be part 17 of our One PC to Rule Them All Challenge series, the show where I give you full responsibility to decide every aspect of an XPC build. At the end of the video, we'll put a poll for you to vote in the community tab of YouTube, so go to the link below. Right. Now we've got with us a Linux live USB boot drive or installation drive or both, and we've got a Windows 10 USB installation drive as well. Both links will be up there or in the description below for how to create one of these in part 14 and 15. For today, I'm going to present to you my system. If you've been following the series, we've got everything laid out outside of the case, and we've done a successful post test, again video up there. And there's nothing connected here except a mouse and a keyboard, right, which is connected to USB, and we've got an Ethernet port at the back, and that's all we have. There is no hard drive. We've got an SSD here with Windows 10 already pre-installed, but we are not connecting this. This is on the side, okay? So no hard drive. We're going to do a boot test. First, let's put our Linux drive in there, and we're going to time it. Now, this is not necessarily a speed test, but this is to prove a point. I'm going to get my phone here, the Samsung Galaxy S5, which I bought a couple of years ago. Watch the video up there. And we're going to grab our switch. Keep your eyes on our components. And we're going to start the timer. Ready, steady, go. Now, hopefully, we'll hear a pause beep. And I'm going to stop that timer. And then we'll resume it when we see the grub. Beep is gone. So that was about 10 seconds. Okay. And we got the grub. I'll stop it just about under 14 seconds. All right. Now I'm going to press enter on my keyboard here to start Linux Mint normal. We'll resume this. Sorry, I forgot about this. We'll just take a couple of seconds away. By the way, if you remember something called Extra PC, they were trying to con some granddads and grandnannies before. So this is similar concept to this, but better, more genuine. Okay, we are onto the desktop. 30 seconds. We said let's take away about a couple of seconds. Okay, let's say 32 seconds. Okay, let's give you 33, whatever. Now 33 seconds. Why is this a big deal? It's a big deal because we haven't got a hard drive on there. What that means, with this little, I don't want to unplug this, with this little USB which is in there, you have yourself an almost fully functional computer which you can take with you in there, plug it into any desktop or laptop that is old and slow, or even if the hard drive is dead, or even if there's no operating system on there, you can plug that in there and you can access the internet and you can do whatever you need to do for daily tasks. You cannot do this with Windows, and we'll talk about that later. Now come along, I'm going to show you at the corner here, top right corner. You've got computer, you've got home, and then you've got install Linux Mint. And back to me, this is one of the differences between these two USB flash drive. One is only an installation drive, which is going to be the Windows. The other one is an installation drive plus a live USB drive. It means it's a fully functional operating system that you can test drive before you even install. And if you don't want to install, you don't have to install it. You take it with you anywhere you go and you can always use it. And like you've seen, you boot into it in 30 seconds plus, right? You know some of your older laptops and desktop with spin hard disk drive take over 1 minute and 45 to boot up, correct or no? Right. Now most people nowadays, what they're going to use a computer for? Browsing, correct? Not desktop applications. So come along, by default, if you can see at the bottom left here, there's already not Internet Explorer, right, but Mozilla Firefox. We click on that and hopefully we get a home page, which is Linux homepage. Not too bad, yeah, from a USB port. And let's go to a website which you may have heard of. I'll put a link below. It's called YouTube. It's not bad. There's a few things on there every now and then. I like it. And let's click on YouTube. And once we're on YouTube, see, you're connected to the internet, I would say within like 45 seconds. This is brilliant. And let's put in Manchester. Can I write Manchester United? Highlights. Go Man U! Well, you know, if I was a supporter. Am I? I don't know. What do you think? It's against Chelsea. Let's watch the Chelsea one, okay? We've clicked on it. And we're going to open that after it does some stupid ad thing. No, ads are not stupid. That's how I get my money. Please do not skip the ads. Well, you know, unless you want to support me. We'll skip the ad for here. Now, one thing is a problem right now. You cannot hear anything. There's no sound because you've got no speaker. No problem. One of the advantages of this little piece of USB, because it's a troubleshoot kit, which have helped me so much to troubleshoot almost any hardware except for the hard disk drive. We're going to plug in this Jabra, what is it called, like a answer phone, speaker phone, whatever the heck it is, okay? It's supposed to be a professional thing. We're just going to plug it in and hopefully we're going to press play and let's see if we get some sound. Sound! We got sound! And what I'm doing right now, I'm testing or troubleshooting sound problems. You know, sometimes sound on your Windows may not work because not the right driver is selected. Sound, brilliant. So that's a troubleshoot method if you are trying to get your sound resolved. Now, let's unplug this and let's put in a headphone, okay, in one of the ports at the back. Now we're testing, one, whether we've got sound from the headphone, so whether all the drivers are working. But we're probably going to have to switch the input source or the output source, sorry. We'll go back to sound, the bottom right here, go to sound settings, and we're going to select line out, and then let's press play. Now you may not hear this, but it's coming from there. Let me put the sound up so you may be able to hear that. Let me bring it to my microphone. I think you probably can hear this now. Okay, good. So now we've established within a few seconds that our sound is not a problem. So we know that our hardware is not a problem. And on Windows, sometimes it can be difficult to do these kind of tests. And if you can tell, I've unplugged everything, yeah? But look how flawlessly the playback is on YouTube right now. Right? It's not stuttering, it's not lagging, it's just playing, and it's a 1080p video. We'll off that. Now, that's one of the perks. Can you do this with a Windows installation drive? You cannot, all right? Now, let me show you some other perks. We're going to close this. If Linux comes in pre-installed out of the box, so many applications that you're going to need, which with Windows you probably have to buy or you have to install after you install Windows. But out of the box, we're only using the live one. For example, what may you use? Let's go to Office, and you have a full suite, which is an equivalent to Microsoft Office, which is Word. And you've got the Excel equivalent, you've got the PowerPoint equivalent already in there. Now, I know Google has their own version online, and Microsoft also gives their own version online. But the keyword here is online. If you're not online, if you're not connected, you already have built-in locally a full suite. You can do your productivity work. And if that wasn't great enough, let's go to something else. Let's go to graphics, for example. What else can we get? Look at that! We got GIMP! You know what's GIMP? GIMP is the equivalent of Adobe Photoshop, a graphical manipulation program. So you can do anything that Adobe does. Some of the commands are slightly different, but the result is the same. Open source. I think it's cross-platform compatible as well. How much do you have to pay to be able to enjoy Adobe Photoshop, the latest version? Subscription fees, correct. Yeah, and it doesn't come on its own now, does it? And that's a couple of perks I can tell you. Now, out of the box, all these, there are plenty of applications. My point is, out of the box, you didn't have even to install anything. Within 30-ish seconds, you've booted up and you can start using and connect straight to the internet. And that's what matters to most people these days. So essentially, you've got a portable Chromebook with you. Yes or no? But it's better than your smartphone, because if you plug in even in an internet cafe or you go somewhere remote or it's an old desktop or laptop, you are good to go. Now we're going to off this, and we are going to be fair, and we're going to plug in the Windows one. And I'm going to ask you a question now before we move on. Are you convinced yet or not that Linux is superior, at least for now? And if you're not, you're going to have to tell me why later. Now I'm going to plug in the Windows one. And we're not going to do a speed test, because I think credit needs to be given where credit is due. Turn this on. I think for a boot test right now, I think probably Windows is faster, by probably about 3 to 5 seconds faster. But there's a but, there's a big but. Big but. Okay, beep, post, and we should be getting the user interface anytime soon. And there's one thing I forgot to show you, but we'll talk about this later. Okay, Windows setup, pretty fast. I think it just beat Linux, but there's a but. Now, all you're presented with here, if you come a bit closer, you know this is a standard Windows installation, is the Windows language selection and country. So we click on next, okay? And then you have two options, install now and repair your computer. Right now, because we haven't got a disk, we can't install, correct? And Linux also had an installation option, but we didn't choose to do this. We just used it, you know, straight and live. So we can click on repair your computer. Let's see what kind of graphical interface it gives us. And you have two options, troubleshoot and turn off your PC. So already, that's not good news now, is it? One says to turn off, the other one says you're in trouble. Shoot. Windows. Let's click on troubleshoot. And now you're presented with 6 options. Startup repair, command prompt, uninstall updates, UEFI firmware settings, system restore, and system image recovery. These are all troubleshooting features. If you have already a hard disk with Windows on there, you can potentially, hopefully, troubleshoot. I will tell you from experience, and we've done it on the platform as well, that sometimes troubleshooting all of this is not going to work with Windows. At some point, if you've had Windows for a while, I would say give it at least a year. At some point, you will have to reinstall Windows because it is going to crash. It's not going to work. All right. The only thing you could probably go to is command prompt, which is a bit interesting, but that involves knowledge of prompt, basically prompt commands, which most of end users do not do, because this is a throwback to an old system called DOS. Okay, it's kind of on top of it, and it's a command interface. Yeah, the administrators, they can do this. You and I, we're end users. We don't know how to use this. You can't access the internet. You can't do anything else with this, right? So already you can see a big problem, and I'm going to unplug this while I put this back in there because I forgot to show a couple of things, and I'm going to keep talking. Now, there's a difference between these two. First of all, the Linux drive is only about 2 GB. At least this distribution is. There are some distributions of Linux, like Puppy Linux or Ubuntu or a lot of the stuff, which is even smaller, probably half a gig, all right? Which means this Windows, you need at least 8, and that's installation and troubleshoot only. And troubleshoot only Windows. But the Linux one is an installation, it's a live one, and it's a troubleshoot as well. Not just for Linux, but you can troubleshoot Windows stuff. This little Linux gadget has saved my life so many times in my career and has helped me to repair Windows stuff, believe it or not. And if I didn't show you before, you can come closer. I've just rebooted back in there. Come closer and I'll show you. Did I show you this? Maybe I did. It has install Linux Mint. The same option we had for Windows, except that in Windows, we had it before we even get to an OS. But here, you boot into the OS. You can start using it. Then you also have an option to install it. What more do you want? And let's plug in something very quickly. This is a Bluetooth module. Let's see how quickly it will pick it up, and we can pair it with our phone, hopefully, or maybe if it's already paired. And once we plug it in, we'll click and we'll find in preferences, I'm guessing there's a Bluetooth module there somewhere. There you go. And it's searching for device, and I think my Bluetooth is on here. Can it pick it up? Hopefully. I mean, this phone is a bit slow, so I wouldn't blame it for not picking it up straight away. But while this is trying to pick up, hopefully it will. Actually, let me look for the Bluetooth selection. Yep, still searching for it. Bluetooth. We've got Toshiba TV. It's still looking. Let it look. Now, couple of things that you need to know. There you go. We've picked up Mint. I click on it. It's trying to pair, and it should give me a code. And what that would mean is we're just also testing another USB port. We're testing whether if there's a Bluetooth module on the board itself. This is like a test, isn't it? And it's still scanning. This is my S5. This is an S5, guys. It's dying. Okay, you see there's a line on the side. This is not working properly, but I can promise you this does work. Okay. All right. So the point is, if you it's picked up random. See, Galaxy S5, but it's not set up yet. We can click on it to start. I'm touching that screen. It's not even there, and it's probably going to give me a code to pair it. There you go. It works. Almost anything you plug in works, and that is the surprising thing. Even some printers, I used to have problem. I would try to install drivers from Microsoft, from Windows for certain printers, and they wouldn't work. I'm going to off this, okay? And on Linux, I plug in within a few seconds, bang. Now, I'm going to be fair. Windows has some perks. It is commercially available. It is supported on a mass level. Most people are aware of it. Some of you guys, you probably have never heard of Linux or Linux before. Now, the Linux or Linux community know all of this stuff. To some of you, it might be surprising. How can you have a complete PC, or as far as you consider it's a complete PC, on a small 2 GB USB drive, which costs what, £2, £3 to buy brand new, unless you've got some available. And this is a 3.0. It also works on 2.0. Now, here's the kicker. Try to put Windows on a 10-year-old desktop or laptop and see what you get as performance. If it installs at all, it will be slow as heck. Try the same thing with the Linux. Not only will it work, but it will work faster, and it is lighter, only 2 GB or under. You may argue that, okay, I tried Linux once, it didn't work, and I will agree with you. I have tried Linux Mint on certain computers. This version is the Cinnamon 64-bit Tina 19.2 latest version. Didn't work. That's because there are hundreds of Linux distributions you can choose from. One doesn't work, try another one. Okay? And I did indeed, in one of the computers, I installed this, similar to this 64-bit Cinnamon or Mate or Mate, and it was very heavy. Then I switched to something called XFCE, which is very light, and that did the trick. And again, try to install Windows and on all like a notebook or netbook, those Atom processors, right? Not going to work. But you get a 32-bit version, and that even comes in with Chrome Premium built in. Chrome, the browser. Chromium, not Chrome Premium. Right. If by now you're not convinced that Linux is superior and Linux is better than Windows, I'm sorry, you've got a problem. You're a fanboy and I don't want to talk to you. I'm just kidding. Subscribe. Now, here's the kicker. There's other reasons why it's superior and is better than Windows. The number one, how much does a license for Windows cost these days? Last time I checked, £129 for a home version, £219 for a pro version. I'm not about to pay this. Yes, I've done a video about how you can get it still for free legally, but I also said otherwise use Linux. Linux is free. You like free? For a free, no license required product, you can't argue with this. That should be the end of the video. I should have started the video by saying Linux is superior to Windows because it's free, end of story. Correct? But that's not the only thing. Linux is open source as a second part. Open source means you can have access to the code which built the Linux platform. You can access it, you can change it, manipulate it, make it better, make it worse, customize it, whatever you want to do. Which brings me to the third point. Linux is customizable. If you don't like the desktop, you put another freaking desktop on it. You change the colors, you change the way things move graphically, you change the animation, you change whatever you want. Right? I've got some notes here. Number 4. Stable. Some Linux distributions, some servers, a lot of servers actually Linux based because they're stable. You install once, you turn the machine on, you could run for years without having to restart. How many times have you had to restart Windows? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? 5th, compatibility. We've mentioned the old desktop and old laptops, right? Do you know how many old computers you can revive because it's just compatible? Do you know, like I told you earlier, if you're lucky to install Windows on a specific desktop or laptop, you may install, but there's a lot of things which probably won't work. And I've done one video I've done on this was about a wireless SIM card connection into a laptop. You can watch it up there. And that did not work with Windows 10 because the programmers do not do that device driver for Windows 10. Windows 10, you need more modern stuff, right? Modern hardware. 6, we talk about the lightweight, 2 GB only, because Windows resources are used to do a lot of background processors on the desktop. And you and I both know nowadays we use computers mostly, especially the end user, for what? Browsing the internet, which Linux doesn't do. Linux keeps the resources to a minimum, the background resources, not a lot of them. So a lot of it is freed up for you to access the internet, which is what matters to most of us. But Windows, blimey man, especially if you've got very low specs, terrible. I think we're on 7 now, for today, 7, but there's more. Oh no, I'll give you one more. So 7 is updates, stupid Windows updates. You switch off your computer, do not turn your computer off. Updating one of a million updates, and you're in a hurry to go unplug everything in your house. It's not going to happen. Or you're turning it on. Wait, Windows is installing updates one of 256 million thousand. You know what I'm talking about? Linux, the updates happen if you want them while you're using the machine, not when you're switching off or turning on. And you can get away with a lot of no update necessary. It does happen, but you should update. Which brings me to the last, which I think is number 8, whatever, or 9, 8 maybe. There's plenty more, yeah? And that is security. Yes, Linux has some viruses, but Windows have viruses because the whole freaking world writes programs that targets Windows because it's so commercially massively available and used. Okay? No doubt about this. If by now I haven't convinced you that Linux is better than Windows, right? I don't know what else I have to do. I'm willing to take up the challenge, and here's what I'm going to offer you. If you can prove to me that based on what I've shown you, that Windows is superior, then I will give you full authority to decide my next video, which is something that you want. You have to prove it to me though. We'll put it in a vote if you have managed to prove it based on what we've done so far. But wait, don't make me do something illegal. Don't make me do something immoral. Don't make me break the terms and conditions or terms and services of YouTube. And do not make me go against my personal beliefs, which I'm a Muslim, by the way. But apart from this, I'm a cool guy. Anything you want, keep it reasonable. I will create a video just for you, whatever you want me to do, right? And I won't give credit to Windows though. Gaming right now, still Windows takes the lead, no doubt about this. Commercially, Windows has the support, they pay staff, but Linux has a better community in some respect, okay? Because try to go troubleshoot your issues with Windows. Sometimes you're going to go around in circle, people are asking the same questions and not everyone will have the answer. But with Linux community, because there's less problems, but there are some issues about compatibility issues, and there's a high learning curve with Linux, I will agree with this. But there's nothing you can't learn, correct? That's why YouTube exists, that's why guys like me exist, we're trying to teach you. There might be other things, but I can't think about them right now, and I think I've covered quite a lot. So I'll be happy for you to get in touch with me, and we may have to do a follow-up video just to say and to show why Windows is better in some respect. But hands down, if you give me a choice, and I'm going to ask you, which one do you want to take with you, the Linux or the Windows? If you're going on a trip, if you're going away on a remote place, if you're going to an internet cafe, if you've got an old desktop or laptop, which one do you really want to take? If you say Windows, sorry bro, you're lying. Or sorry sis, or whatever you are these days, you're lying. Because you're going to want to take the Linux one. Am I correct? And also, we'll talk about the gaming aspect. Did we say gaming? The gaming scene might be changing soon because there's a lot of support for Linux now. But so far, I think for drivers, especially from NVIDIA, gaming on Windows is still better. And that's the end of today's video. Now, before you go, make sure you check out this video up here, which is selected for you by YouTube, and check out this series down here for Troubleshoot, and don't forget to check out my previous One PC to Rule Them All challenge series. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, use my Amazon affiliate links in the description below, and give me a like, and I will see you in the next one. Keep unleashing your true potential. This was Ash from My Tech, helping you go from newbie to techie. Until next time, peace out.